blue glowy smoke trail out of it,
Yep,
but I couldn't work with it separately.
I see. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wonder if there's a workaround some sort where you could try and, I don't know,
Right?
parent like
I wish I had the file before the caching, right?
do you know whether you can have access to that or?
I don't. I'd have to ask around,
Hmm.
but it's kind of hard getting feedback on information like that sometimes. So I just kind of charged ahead with what I had, you know?
All right, so let me just share my screen. Um, so I've got the stills that you posted up, and can you see my screen?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, cool. And I've got some references. I pulled out the ones that I thought were quite compelling. Um, so yeah, so I had a look through it. The the lights are set up really nice, and you've got that lightning effect. Is that something that's controllable when it happens?
No. So the rain is made up of three separate like image planes that I've spaced through the scene.
Yep.
So that you get kind of that depth and you get some parallax with the clouds as the camera moves. Um, and so that's an image sequence of just a rainstorm video.
Ah, right. Could you do you have the means to kind of stagger that sequence so control when that lightning actually comes in?
I can kind of delay, I can move the sequence
Hmm.
and delay it, which is kind of what I've done to like have the lightning come in at that time.
Yep.
And the two image planes are staggered by one frame. So like if you were to frame by frame the video, you'll see sort of the first piece come down and then a second piece come down, and so it gives
Ah,
it that
gotcha.
kind of
Yep.
right that crackle as it plays.
Yep. Yep. And do you have enough range to be able to slip the frames so that the lightning comes in at the end here, by any chance?
Yeah, that should be that's like 35 frames. I think I've got the range to slip it. I've got an extra 100 frames at where I've started, but it's just an export video, so I can export a new image sequence and slip it at
Hmm.
like another couple hundred frames.
Yep.
It's not the most precise thing, but you know, it'll get me there.
Yep.
But yeah, you think the lightning crackle at the in the face camera scream moment right here?
Yeah, I think the lightning coming in at the end could be really nice, and you could, I guess, use that as a pretext for lightning, other bolts of lightning coming off screen from screen right to kind of light his face in sort of flashes.
Okay,
In
so sort of do a both sides with the white.
in addition, yeah, so kind of play with it, but I'm thinking maybe this kind of rhythmic pattern where you have a you know um, you have the lightning coming from screen left and kind of etching out this and maybe his teeth and the side of his face like that. And you can obviously add a cheat light off screen.
Yeah, there's you can see that dark blue that's on the side of him there. There is a cheat light there that's in a very dark blue.
Yep. Yeah. So maybe have a sequence where boom here, then maybe the you know next frame or the one after that you have,
Light coming in from behind the building there.
yeah, so then
Okay.
that can act to, I guess, as a means to kind of really separate the character from this building in the foreground here, because right now they're
It's
kind of
blending together
it's
there.
a kind of a confused reading.
Okay.
So they're kind of um, they are lit pretty much. You know, the ambient levels here, say here, very similar, and the sort of the warmish tones here and here are very similar. So your eye kind of reads the building as, well, I kind of read it almost like he had some sort of appendage onto his arm at this moment as a still. Obviously, when it's in motion, you don't read it that way, but
Yeah.
um, it does. It's a little bit too similar in the way it's lit, and I think my overall comment would be that he's overlit. You're, I feel like there's way too much reveal of him and his figure. I know that you were concentrating on texturing his skin, but it does feel like the light, that bluish light that is being cast on him, does make him feel too lit.
Okay.
And if you look at the reference, you'll see that um, these guys, they don't have a hell of a lot of ambient fill, and
Yeah, it was
it
kind of the
creates.
T-Rex that the blue was inspired by the T-Rex part out of the Jurassic Park clip. Uh,
Right, right. But I think in the context of this environment,
yeah, you should bring him down more.
he really pops when
Okay.
you want him to sort of be a bit more mysterious, you know.
Okay.
Um, I think take a look back at this Godzilla frame,
Yeah.
and obviously there is a reveal at some point, and perhaps that reveal can be at the end here when you see that lightning, the lightning cast on him. And but before that, I would
I could also
definitely.
bring my camera down further so you see less of his body and you just kind of have spikes over rooftops, maybe.
That could be good, but you know you could just take his fill level right down
Okay.
and kind of describe him as this kind of a walking set of spikes. I think the fill overall in the buildings could go down, and
Okay.
you could just describe them more with instead of lights coming from camera, you could swing them around so that they look they're more kind of filled in like that.
Okay.
And then just go dark here. Do you have Atmos?
No.
You could try throwing in some Atmos there to separate him from the buildings as well.
Okay.
But I would take the ambient fill levels way down and just describe the environment with kind of rim lights same here. So I'd like to
Bring
see
the body down, make it more rim.
I'd like to see the fill level taken way down like that. just describing it's this kind of walking mass of spikes. So much more mysterious and kind of menacing.
Okay.
I'm wondering whether there's any opportunity to get some monster, that had a really traditional monster light happening here. Maybe you can contrive a lightning flash um, that kind of goes in tandem with the one here. Maybe there's another one from this side that bounces light off the ground and maybe just for a split second just kind of describes his teeth in that sort of moment, in that
Okay.
flash, and kind of lights him up from the underside just to kind of make him scarier. So I should. Okay, let me just make a copy. Okay. Yeah, so I would try that and definitely um, bring his fill levels down. Just get, you know, just accents on the sort of the menacing aspects of his form. Just kind of keep him mysterious. And then in this last part, just really kind of go to town with those lightning flashes and,
Okay.
you know, light up his teeth and his horns and maybe um, maybe his tongue even. Just describe that in these kind of alternating lightning flashes. And again, keep his fill quite low. You know, it is pretty low on this side, so it's maybe bring it down on this side. That.
Okay.
That's great. That moment there is really great.
Right. I'm just looking at teeth that are going to eat me.
Yeah, it's a real primal fear, that fear of being eaten. So I think it's a very kind of visceral um, reaction to seeing glistening teeth. So yeah, definitely, work on bringing that up. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's looking great. You've got the really um, nice kind of mood that's been set. Just need to kind of add some mystery to it.
Yeah. It's my first animated scene, so I'm happy with the first take of it so far. Still needs some work, but
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
good
it's
start.
looking good. It's looking good.
It's exciting.
Right? It's called the Academy of Animated Art, so
I
it's nice
know.
to animate smart.
It's funny because it's like I've been, I don't know, the past year I've been like trying to find animated really, cool scenes and everything and blah blah blah. And
Mm.
then it would take me a month to, get a scene and texture and everything and blah blah blah. And then a month before I even start lighting it. And then I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna do. whatever scene comes my way that is ready to light. It doesn't matter if it's a still, if it's an animated, whatever it is. So that's what I'm working now. So I'm doing the opposite way, and going from like animating scenes into no, I'll just do a bunch of still images, and
Right.
be happy because it's like it takes only a week instead of like 2 or 3 months.
I mean, I know me, and as soon as I learn the things I need to learn, I'm gonna have a spaceship moving through clouds. That's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. So I think animated um, working on animated shots is actually a really good experience because when you're out there, um, you will have to light to animated scenes, and
Oh yeah.
the, I guess the aspect that comes into it is the temporal aspect, timing, and timing's a really important aspect of lighting a shot as well, especially one that's quite dynamic like this one. Where you can build up the scene and then you know reveal aspects or of this creature's body through time. You can play with a lot of timing and how much light you want to apportion to him at any given time, more or less, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's great that you're working on this because I think it's really good practice for you.
Yeah,
All right, Andre, do you have anything that you want to
I
share?
did. I do. I just posted it on. I've I went back to the fantasy tree, um,
Yep.
and even though we last week we were like, oh yeah, it's kind of done. I decided to play around a little bit with the composition, and it was bothering me a little bit that it was too centered everything. So
Right.
now I moved the tree to the left a little bit and moved the
I
um,
see. Yep.
the archway to the right,
Yep.
and now I like this little you know pathway that the light does going from the beginning all the way to the tree.
Yep.
I think it works better than the way it was before. I also added some, I don't know, vegetation on the wall of the rock on the right side, just so that
Ah,
there's like
yes.
something there,
Yep.
you know. Um, Changed a little bit of the plants. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Uh, a little bit of the plants on the ground also,
Yep.
uh, to give a little bit more of a dynamic, and have some breathers, and that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
um,
Yeah, I think it's definitely working, and it does make it kind of you know visually more interesting. Um, let's see. Let's check out the previous one. Yep.
yeah, and I'm missing it. Just didn't have time to render the the volumetrics that go through the tree and into the camera.
Gotcha. Yep.
But I'm gonna add that too.
Cool. I think one thing with the camera move that's happened, especially with the reading of the ground plane, is that these areas here feel a little bit sparse. They feel a little bit
Uh-huh.
um, maybe with the previous composition, it didn't. You don't kind of pick it up as much,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the tree here and here
Mm-hmm.
and this is being a little bit darker. I feel like with this new position, you'll I feel that you start to notice these kind of empty bolts. They're like little ball
Hmm.
patches.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm wondering whether you could maybe just darken them, or if they just see. Sorry. Kind of
Yeah.
recede a bit more.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, otherwise it's definitely helping the shot. This new camera position. I guess you're just working on getting that volumetric light on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's funny because it's like I don't understand why, because it's a static shot, but it's like I think there's so much geo in it that and anything that I do is like half an hour of like you click to select something and you wait like 15 seconds and then it selects. Then you
Yes.
move it a little bit and you wait another 16 seconds and then it moves.
Yes.
And then, you know, I mean this render, which is like not even high quality, it's good, but nothing out of the ordinary, took about 20 hours. So it's
Wow,
crazy. Yeah.
that's a long time. So are you
Yeah.
using Arnold? Is that right, or a render map?
Arnold. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Arnold. I mean, granted, there's a bunch of lights. There's like 50 of those crystals and stuff, but still,
right.
uh, shouldn't be that long. I don't know. But anyways,
Spherical
I'm,
lights
I'm,
are
I'm
expensive. Are you using
yeah.
spherical area lights? Yeah.
I'm
Um,
no, I'm actually using. I started doing. I tried that, and I actually not only well, but I mean, I tried that, and I thought, oh, it's taking so long because it was mesh lights. And then I went away from that and just put like point lights.
just point
Maybe I
lights. Yep.
shouldn't do. Yeah, maybe it's the point lights that is doing that. Maybe I should do area lights. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
point lights and spherical area lights are the most expensive lights. Yeah,
okay,
because you've got
because they're shooting everywhere, right?
the shooting in um, every direction, and
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the GI sampler, you know, when it's got to do its thing, is a lot of points it
Hmm.
needs to resolve. So yeah,
Interesting.
mm,
Yeah, maybe I'll change that and see if it makes any difference.
yep,
But I'll also work on those points and
mm,
get them better. I also think that rock that I added on the right middle feels a little too bright. Yeah, that one.
yep. This guy here,
So I'm
yeah,
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 I'm gonna
definitely,
try and make it a little darker.
yep,
Cool.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, definitely. You know, the fill on these rocks here. I think in general, this area here needs to just come down.
hmm.
Yeah, um, again, just expose down.
Yeah.
Just because it's your eyes starting to, even though you had this amazing kind of motif of the light going through this arch, um, and there's quite a bit of light there. I feel like the ambient levels in the foreground here are kind of taking away from it. So
Hmm.
um, yeah, definitely work on getting them to recede.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's looking better. Definitely
Cool.
looking better.
Very happy with it, actually. So,
Yeah, yeah, you should be. It's looking great. And it was your idea of making those the arch elements. Was that?
uh, to move them? No, it was actually a friend of mine.
Yep.
I was talking, and I was like, I don't know. It feels too centered, and I was
Mm,
like, because that's the thing. It's like, coming from a photography background, I'm
mm,
like, well, this is the scene, so and he goes like, well, why don't you move the arch to the other way?
mm,
And I was like, yeah, that's true. I can just move it,
mm.
which is something that you can't do in real life. You can't just, you know, get there and move a bunch of
That's
rocks
right.
and stuff.
Yep.
Uh, but it's like in 3D, you can just, click and move to the other side. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me try that.
Yep.
And I think that, I like the S-shaped thing that it's doing now,
Mm, yep.
the whole.
Yeah,
So
that's a nice kind of compositional flourish. Yeah, that sort of S
yeah.
shape there. Sort of your eye gets led through the arch to the tree.
Hmm.
Yeah, very
Cool.
nice. Nice
Thank
one.
you.
Thanks very much. All right, I think that's it. Um, I think that's it for this week.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks very much, guys.
Thank
Um,
you.
some great work. So yeah, look forward to the updates.
Awesome. Thank you very
And
much, Quan.
you're very welcome, Andre and Theodora. And yeah, I'll be on again next week, same time. So I hope to
Okay.
see you
Awesome.
guys there.
Yeah, I'll see you guys.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.